In our last video about the book Winning Strokes, we spoke about the 4 pillars to success. The first 3 we said were mindfulness, visualization, and emotional intelligence training. That means we had to go through some form of training. Mindfulness, visualization, and emotional intelligence training. And the 4th pillar to success was post-traumatic stress disorder treatment. Now, what's a treatment? After we finish doing our training, then there's a 4th piece that we have to do, where we actually go to see a psychiatrist for a tune-up. We go to a medical doctor for a physical. We go to a dentist. We go to a ophthalmologist. But we also must take now into account our brain. We have to go to a psychiatrist so that he makes sure that our mental fortitude is working correctly. Mindfulness. How do we define mindfulness? Well, let me go through not a lengthy, but a discussion as to how we get to mindfulness. At the Cricket Hall of Fame, we tell our students, in order to be successful at any vocation that you are undertaking, your vocation, any vocation, you must do mindfulness training, visualization training, and emotional intelligence training. Now, we came up with this at the hall because I am Mike Chambers, the executive director at the Hall of Fame, located in Hartford, Connecticut. And our role is to oversee cricket internationally and in the US. We take it up on ourselves to study what is happening in the cricket world and to see if we can make recommendations to different persons who we think can adjust the situation and make sure that cricket continues as the number 2 sport in the world. We believe soccer is number 1, and then comes cricket. And when we say soccer, we're talking about the European football, not American soccer per se, but the European style of football. So at the hall, we try to look at what is causing some of the difficulties in the sport. Why is ICC not maintaining cricket on a comparable scale as FIFA, football organization that controls world football? We think cricket should be on that same level and making that sort of money. Well, all right, not maybe 50%. FIFA probably is making $40 billion on their World Cup. We think cricket should be doing at least 20 billion. That's what we're looking at. But we're saying the entire cricket culture needs now to bring a second training process into the equation. We have physical training where we go to the gym, where we go to the batting cage, where we go to the field, and we practice, we hone our playing skills at cricket. Now we are saying we must now approach cricket at a different level where management starts comparing themselves maybe to US football, maybe to US baseball, maybe to basketball. See if we can reconstruct ICC's format to model one of these sports here in the US so that cricket becomes lucrative. What we do know is in the West Indies, we better make some changes because we see where cricket is a dying sport in the West Indies. So we at the hall, we've looked at some things and the three pillars, mindfulness, visualization, emotional intelligence. Mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Why is it so important? And we're saying when you complete all your training sessions, then you have to go see a psychiatrist to tune up your faculties, make sure that your mind is operating. You have a sound mind. So we have physical training in the gym, on the field, in the nets. And then we have mental training to develop our brain, to make sure that we are cognitively sound and capable of making good decisions. Mental training, where we train the brain, where we exercise the brain. Mindfulness, visualization, emotional intelligence. And I'm saying in order to be successful in life, one must train their physical body and their mind. Physical training, mental training. Physical training, where we go to the gym daily, lift weights, run around the track, do our exercises, do our sit-ups, do our squats, and do our push-ups. But equally important is our mental training, mindfulness, visualization, and emotional intelligence. We should visit our doctors, our medical doctor, for a physical. We should visit our dentist and our ophthalmologist for a checkup. But we must visit our psychiatrist at least once a year for a mental checkup. If we are consistent in doing our mental training and our physical training and going to see our medical doctor and our psychiatrist, we should be successful at what we do. We should be living a successful life. We should be vibrating success energy, the vibration of success energy. Now, success is the end result of a process. You have probably heard the saying, practice makes perfect. But at the hall, we sort of modified that saying. And we say, practice makes permanent. Because when you practice an incorrect habit, when you practice it, like, for example, a batsman playing at a short pitch ball, if he's not using the correct techniques, he will always get out making his shot. So we have to practice making the correct or taking the correct action at whatever we are doing. If you practice a correct action, you will manifest perfection. Whatever you repeat in your practice, you will imprint into your subconscious mind. So that anytime you are called upon to do that action, it's already imprinted in the subconscious, and you will automatically pick up out of your subconscious a correct approach to the action that you are needing, to the stimulus that came in. A short pitch ball, if you are practicing the correct stroke, when a ball is pitched short at the batsman, he will make the correct shot coming or stroke coming out of his subconscious. So we say success is a result of practicing a number of correct actions. So you have to be successful, you must have a number of successful patterns imprinted in your subconscious mind. You can only be successful if you have the vibration of success in your subconscious mind vibrating, so that whenever a stimulus comes and you're pulling on an action out of your subconscious, you will always pick up an action that will bring you good results, successful results as to whatever you're doing. Let us look at a mechanic, an automobile mechanic. If we say such a person is successful, if we say this automobile mechanic is a successful person at his job, when persons bring an automobile to this individual to be fixed, that individual will apply practices that he has over the years perfected or implanted into his subconscious mind. He would have known how to diagnose the problem and fix the automobile. And at the end of a successful repair, he is now allowed to charge the customer for the repair. So we will say that person now is a successful automobile mechanic if he can, at the end of the day, diagnose problems in an automobile, repair the problems, and deliver the car to the customer. So we can say, in order to be successful at what we do, regardless of our vocation, we must be conscious of what we are doing. So the automobile mechanic fixing a car, repairing a car, he must be conscious while he's doing the repair of what he's about, what he's setting out to do. We must be able to make sound decisions and select proper actions when we determine what the fix is required to make the automobile work again. So we must be able to make sound decisions, and our choice of what is to be repaired or replaced will determine whether or not we fix the car. In order to fix the automobile, we must have knowledge of automobiles. We must have worked on fixing automobiles before, And like we said, we must be conscious of what we are doing, the diagnostics that we are applying. We must make sound decisions as to what to fix or repair after we have made a successful diagnosis of the problem. Once we go through this process, we should be able to fix the unit. I have said mindfulness, visualization, and emotional intelligence are the pillars of success. We define mindfulness as our ability to be fully aware of everything that is happening in the now moment. So the automobile mechanic who is working on an automobile, he must be mindful of what he's doing. He must be conscious of what he is doing. He must stay in the now moment. He cannot be working on the automobile, diagnosing the problem, and at the same time thinking about what he's going home to have for supper, or which bar he's going to stop at to meet his fellows and watch a good soccer match on TV. No, he has to be contemplating and concentrating on the task at hand, fixing the automobile. Mindfulness is the ability to be fully aware of everything that is happening in the now. Everything that is happening now. Where we are, fixing the car, what we are doing, diagnosing the problem, and what we are experiencing. What problems are we having doing the diagnosis or doing the fix? Where we are, what we are doing, and what we are experiencing. What is happening in the now moment. Can't be thinking in the past, can't be thinking in the future. Yes, we can draw on recollection of, I had this problem before, and this is what I did to remedy or to fix. But all that is stored in your subconscious. So that will come to the forefront if you are mindful and if you are concentrating on the problem at hand. We all have the ability to be mindful. You don't become a successful automobile mechanic. You don't become a successful batsman if you don't practice fixing the car or going in the nets and doing physical training. The more practice you have is the more successful you become at fixing or at playing cricket or whatever vocation you have. The more you practice. What that means is the more you do the thing over and over and over, repetition, that gets implanted in your subconscious. You create a habit at batting, a habit at fixing your car, or a habit at typing letters. Whatever your vocation is, you have to practice what you're doing. However, remember what we said, practice does not make perfect. If you practice the correct applications, then you now become perfect. If you practice incorrect actions, then you become imperfect. Your end results at the end of the day will be failure, not success. So we have to develop the gift of mindfulness. Like we said, it's an ability that has been given to us at birth. We are born with the gift of mindfulness, but we have to develop We have to develop the art of being mindful. Since we possess the ability to be mindful, it is only by practicing or doing the art of being mindful that we become aware of our surroundings. So as we practice being mindful, we will develop the art of understanding and appreciating our surroundings. We must be in a position after length of practices to be able to take control of our surroundings. So let's say we are fixing the car and there's a lot of noise in the background, people making noise, cars going by. You have to be able to drown out or block out or compartmentalize so you can continue to concentrate and not allow background interference to distract your ability to do the diagnosis and to fix the automobile. If you're at the wicket batting, you have to be able to block out interferences. You have to be able to only concentrate on the bowler running up to deliver the ball. You cannot be now thinking in the past. You can't be, boy, I hope my wife is fixing a proper meal or my kids are coming home on the bus. You can't be thinking those thoughts. The bowler is approaching. You have to be able now to compartmentalize and only think, only concentrate on the bowler running up to bowl. You must be aware of what you're doing. You're standing there, you're getting ready to face the ball. In your subconscious, you have a repertoire of shots you're going to make if the bowler bowls a certain delivery to you. Fixing the car, you must be aware of if it's this spark plugs that are not working, what you plan to do. You plan to replace them with some new plugs, or they're just cleaning, or you must have a repertoire of actions that you're going to apply to make sure that whatever you're doing is the correct action you are taking. Not only do you have to be in control of your surroundings, you have to be in control of your feelings and your emotions. You can't be fixing the car, you can't be at bat, you can't be at work, and you are sad about something and you're worried about something, and you are there thinking about that something instead of thinking about doing the job that you are being paid to do. You're sitting there, you're fixing your car, you're batting. You're not there to be preparing a meal at home or taking care of the kids who's going to take them off the bus. No, you have to be concentrating on the task at hand. The bowler running up to bowl must be concentrating on how he's going to get the batsman out. You have to concentrate on what you are doing. So the question now becomes then, how do we train ourselves to be mindful? How do we tune into mindfulness? At the hall, we recommend that you set aside 5 to 10 minutes every day, and that's easy to do. Start with 5 to 10 minutes. Practice what we call conscious deep breathing. Do that 5 to 10 minutes a day. In your off time, you're doing some work, you're fixing the car and you need to take a little break. So you do a little deep breathing. What that means, If you have to sit, you sit in a comfortable place, and you rest your palm, the palm of your hand on your knees, on your legs. And as you're sitting there and you relax your body and you move your attention to the breath, to your breath. So as you breathe in, you feel the breath going into your nostrils, going into your lungs, filling up your lungs, filling up your belly, and you take it in. And with no judgment, you're not hurrying, you're not rushing, you're not slowing down anything. You're just doing your normal breathing, and you breathe out through your mouth. But you do that for a little while, and as soon as you're consciously observing your breath, you're trying to block everything else out. You sometimes it's nice to close your eyes. You don't have to, but just breathe in. And then if you want to do that now at a particular pace, so you pull in and you count to 4. You hold it through your nose. You pull it in through your nose. You hold it for 4. You hold it. You let it out. Then you hold it for 4, and then you repeat that over and over. But every moment must be spent observing what is happening to that breath that you are taking. Very important. Now, it is said that your conscious mind is a trickster. He will now be bringing all sorts of thoughts to you because he don't want you to do this exercise. So you will be thinking thoughts all over the place, all different thoughts. Your job is when you find that your mind wanders with one of these thoughts, oh boy, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Curry goat or rice and peas or stew peas. You have to say, no, stop. Stop yourself and bring your mind back to the breath. You do that 5 minutes whenever you have a break every day. So you might do that for a number of 5 minutes, a number of 10 minutes. What will happen? You will eventually train your mind to concentrate on whatever you tell it you want to concentrate on. So you are telling it, concentrate on my breath, my breathing. But there will come a time now when you're at the wicket batting, you will tell your mind, concentrate on the bowler running up to bowl to me, concentrate on where the ball is going to be pitched after he bowls the ball. Once the bowler delivers, he has no control over the ball. Now you have split second to pull up which shot you're going to make, depending on the ball that is delivered to you. So as you do the breathing exercise every day for a number of times, so all the time, it's not just 1 day, 2 days, every day, you will automatically train the brain to concentrate. Now, the brain is very unruly. The brain is a trickster. The conscious mind is a trickster. He will tell you all sorts of things why you should be doing this exercise. Now, you have to, here is another technique that we use. Affirmation. You have to talk to yourself, talk to the conscious mind. You say, conscious mind, you are in charge of the subconscious mind. Remember now, the subconscious mind is where everything that has ever happened to you in your life is stored. So the conscious mind is the guy who's doing the direction. Subconscious mind is where all your programs are written and kept. So you have to tell the conscious mind, you have a discussion now. You have to have an ongoing discussion. Conscious mind, you are the gatekeeper of thoughts going to my subconscious mind. You have that discussion. Sounds crazy, but that's the only way it works. You tell the subconscious you're in control. Well, after a number of months, a number of weeks, a number of practice sessions, the conscious mind will get it and say, okay, my job is to make sure only positive thoughts go to the subconscious mind. So he will now become the gatekeeper to the subconscious mind. Now half your problem is over. You have now successfully mastered mindfulness. You're there now. The question is, a thought, what is a thought? Mind power tells us a thought is a powerful force that some come from the universal source, which is God. Some comes from the devil, and some comes from your subconscious mind. Now you have to be able to discern which of these thoughts, and 80,000 thoughts come to you every day. You have to be able to decide which of those thoughts are good, which are bad. Now, those people who believe in the Bible will use the Bible as reference, as standard for the thoughts. So if the thoughts don't fit the Bible description, conscious mind will say, we're not letting you in, Papa. You have to go for the day. Come back. And every day you will repeat most of these thoughts. You don't get 80,000 different thoughts. Some of these thoughts are repetition. So the thoughts come, the conscious mind will decide which will go to the subconscious. Once they get to the subconscious, remember now, if they go there on a regular basis, they don't become imprinted into the subconscious and become a part of your repertoire going forward, your habit, your character, and those will take you to your destiny, how you treat your thoughts. So once you've learned this simple method of mindfulness, your breath, your practice breathing, that is the key to controlling mindfulness training. Once you get that under control and you train the mind, there are a number of other techniques now that we will learn later on in the process. Weeding, where we learn how to get bad habits and bad thoughts out of the subconscious. Seeding, how we put good thoughts into the subconscious. Those will come later. But if you get mindfulness, if you understand mindfulness, that mindfulness is our ability to stay in the now moment, to understand, to determine where we are, what we are doing. It's very important. Where we are, what we are doing. We have to be conscious of where we are. We have to be conscious of what we're doing. That's being mindful. If we want to be successful, then we have to apply the 3 pillars to success: mindfulness, visualization, and emotional intelligence. Today we are talking about mindfulness. The goal of mindfulness is not to quiet the mind. So we are not trying to quiet the mind or slow it down. The goal of mindfulness is to force the mind to pay attention. See that word? You remember sometimes you're in a classroom and your teacher would say to you, "Little Johnny, please pay attention to the board, what I am writing on the board. Pay attention to what we are doing." Well, mindfulness, the practice is to force the mind to pay attention to the now moment, what you are doing right now. And if a thought comes by, it is okay to analyze the thought. So you are batting, the ball is running up, and a thought comes by. You don't have much time to analyze a thought. What am I going to have for dinner? No, we're batting. You get rid of that thought. immediately because you don't have the time to even think about it. So if a thought comes by, sometimes you can analyze it, but sometimes you don't have the time. So you have to block that thought, and without judgment, you let it go by. And you go back to concentrating on what you've been doing. If you're concentrating on your breathing, then you go right back to your breathing. Once you practice this breathing, because that's the only thing that is consistent around you that you can use as a measuring stick to see how good you're doing. Because if you can sit 5, 10, 15 minutes and concentrate on your breathing and not allow too many outside thoughts to interrupt what you're doing, you're on the way to being a successful person. Because now, if you can control your mind, then you're in a good place. The more we practice returning the mind to what we are thinking about in the now moment, the more we practice that, the more we will develop our mindfulness approach to life, where we can be in a room and be concentrating as to what's happening in the room. You know, you look around, you observe the room. The teacher comes in now to teach. You're able to focus on what the teacher is saying. Pay attention to what the teacher is saying, what the teacher is teaching. The good thing is you are aware of your surroundings. Now, God forbid something should happen. You will be able to say, okay, the fellow who was sitting next to me is so-and-so, had on a white shirt there, and you can describe because you were mindful of what was happening. You observe your surrounding. But when it came time to come back to what you're doing, you were able to bring your mind back to the teacher teaching at the front of the room. Mindfulness. Don't spend much time thinking about the past. The past is gone. Don't spend too much time thinking about the future. The future will soon be here and become the now. Concentrate on the now. I am Mike Chambers, and this is my second video, and I hope you have enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.